Dan Moon is certainly a broadcasting legend here in the Low Country. The WTMA studio has his name right here. It's actually the Dan Moon studio. Dan Moon was news director, anchor, and photographer at News 2 back in the 60s when we were WUSN.
We had a big news crew. Golly dog, I think we had a grand total of 3 people. 3 people worked in the newsroom.
He eventually moved to radio after the owner of a local radio station called.
He called me one day and he said, Dan, you do a pretty good job of that television thing, but you know, you really got a face for radio.
Dan became a talk show host when WTMA switched from country to news talk. He later launched another talk radio station in Charleston, WSC-FM.
Dan Moon was a real treasure. He's a Low Country legend.
John Quincy is the longtime program director at WTMA.
When you heard Dan Moon on the air, this was not a guy who was making airs, sounding different. He was the same on the air as off the air, and that is really hard to find in the communications business.
We had Hurricane Hugo, and Dan was our lifeline. Dan told us what roads were opening, what grocery stores were opening, where you could get gasoline. And without electricity, that's all we had.
He was involved with the Berkeley County Rescue Squad. He loved Berkeley County. Many years later, after leaving radio, he became involved in Berkeley County government, working for the sheriff's office.
Dan was actually deputized in his job as the sheriff's office public information officer.
He was also the voice of the Somerville Speedway for many, many years. He loved stock car racing. I hope to be 1/3 the broadcaster that Dan Moon was.
Turn your telephone into a microphone to the entire Low Country. I'm Dan Moon, right back after this.
Dan is survived by his wife, Mary, their children, and grandchildren. From the Dan Moon studio, I'm Raymond Owens. Count on 2.